Previously, on Seeking Sister Wife.
The three adults bandy about the unfortunate news of Garrick being unable to obtain that sweet, sweet marriage license.
Just terrible, terrible news that Danielle cannot deliver without the biggest grin on her face.
Wedding, sad, baby, happy.
I'm so sorry. It's so sad you can't get married. I'm not at all crazy happy. I'm good, sister. I love you so much.
So, it's my last night here? Want to commune with my Holy Spirit?
It's a train wreck. It's a train wreck. But maybe they can turn it around.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. You know who we are. But for those of you who are new, my name is Angie. This is my husband, Tim. Morty's over here. And we recap and review reality TV, usually Sister Wives content. How it works is I tend to provide most of the recap, aka summary, and Tim provides most of the review, but we usually bounce off of each other. And I occasionally create an animation that pertains to what we said in a previous episode. If you are not new to the channel, but you have been watching us for some time and haven't subscribed, please consider doing that. It helps us out a lot with the algorithm.
The algorithm.
I'm excited to talk about this episode because I thought it was good, relatively speaking.
I mean, relatively speaking, it was pretty good, but that's a low bar.
Yeah. I take what quality I can get.
You can find better quality anywhere. Marty, what are you doing?
Not on TLC.
Well, then stop watching TLC.
I don't know if people will watch us if we're not doing reality TV.
Okay, good point.
Seeking Sister Wife, Season 5, Episode 12, Seeking Common Ground. This should have been called Seeking a Slower Pace, because that's where all of the women wanted to be in the relationship. Yary wanted more time. Jasmine looked repulsed when Nick kissed her. And obviously, Miriam, as we'll see, I guess, next week, doesn't want Garrick to be all touchy-feely with her.
I don't know any of them are even here. You'd think that you would know immediately whether or not you want to be in a polygamous relationship. Bye, Morty. I don't think there's any period of time in which people are going to change their minds. It's kind of a yes-no thing. Morty, you're really loud.
As I've said before, Yary is dragging this out because she's enjoying all the takeout the Ryans are treating her to.
Yeah, maybe.
We begin this time in Buena Vista, Colorado with our favorite family, the Merrifields.
They're the most interesting, but I hesitate to call any of them my favorite.
I didn't realize how much interest the Merrifields brought to the entirety of the show until they weren't in one episode.
Yeah, they've got a dynamic. They have things happening. They don't just get stood up over and over again or talk to their mother-in-law over and over again. Talk about possibly having cancer, but not really over and over again. They actually go and do things, which makes them more interesting.
I think they're just able to do that more so than the other families because Garrick has more money. They're able to go for a 3-month vacation in Brazil. Danielle repeats that she is pregnant, a feat she is once again experiencing 16 years later. Garrick guesses correctly as to what the sex of the baby is. He gives an update on the problems in the family. They are currently speaking with a lawyer on how to obtain the K-1 visa. In the meantime, he yearns for the time when Natalia can live with them in their giant plig house in Colorado. However, we are not at their house at this time. Garrick and Danielle are at an airport arrival gate, awaiting to pick someone up. Who could this person be? Not someone Danielle just happened to chat up whilst waiting for Natalia to come to the States. It is indeed. Danielle met Miriam, who she claims reached out to them on social media. I think this is the point in what I'm assuming is early 2023 when Danielle was supposed to lay low on social media. She couldn't really share what was going on in her life, again, to avoid spoilers. And I'm guessing, as we will find out later, that she was very lonely.
Yes. She talks about her friend's situation later.
When Miriam reached out to her, she's thinking, this is the perfect opportunity to put a wedge in between soon-to-be second wife and Garrick. Miriam speaks fluent English and is able to communicate effectively.
She's born in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I assume she is.
Maybe Garrick is just really attracted to the sound of the iPhone translator app. Talk dirty to me, Siri. Oh, Garrick, you should have 5 wives.
That's possible. By the way, Siri is the voice of the previous Leon in the beginning.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Previously, on Seeking Sister Wife.
Danielle describes this feeling of having no language barrier as different. Miriam is already a mother. She has a 2-year-old daughter. Like the Salahuddin, comes from a Muslim background, so she is already familiar with the concept of plural marriage. Miriam's mother had a sister wife. Danielle then says something strange. What spurred Miriam to reach out to them was because she was able to see the love of God within their family and wanted to know them better. This is how I know either Danielle or Miriam are lying, because this woman watched seasons 3 and 4 and for some reason was able to come to the conclusion that this is a stable and loving situation.
So I'm not super surprised at all. You can find women that fall in love with convicts in prison.
Oh, are you talking about Love After Lockup?
Is that a real show?
Or Prison Brides?
There are 2?
Yes.
No, I meant seriously just the real thing. I didn't realize people made a show about that.
We should recap that.
Oh, we should not.
Okay.
There is going to be someone watching the show that's going to think, oh, Garrick's weird eyes going off in 2 different directions is so dreamy. And they're going to contact them. It's how, going back to the sister wives, there would be women that would contact the Browns wanting to be the 5th wife.
As a joke?
No, for real. And they would say no. I'm not surprised that some person out of the blue decided that they wanted to get in on this.
Well, if that's the case, they deserve all the mess that entails. The Merrifields show Miriam their house and see if there's any chemistry to be had. Just like with Leah and Roberta, Leah was the African-American woman they were dating after Roberta. Mm-hmm. I think she was in California. Can't remember. Yeah. The moment Natalia got wind of this Miriam chick, she shut down. The Brazilian woman's solution was to, just like with Danielle's text, ignore it. She told Danielle that she should take care of it, and if it blossoms into something serious, Natalia would then step in. I'm thinking, why would Danielle take care of it if she's instigating it?
Yeah, we'll get into this later, but this is just the basic sister-wives dynamic where you're trying to bring in somebody on your side to upset the vote, as it is.
Anyways, due to Natalia's insistence to turn a blind eye to this, the Merrifields have decided to not tell her of meeting Miriam in person. Danielle says Miriam knows of Natalia being a fiancé. I'm assuming Danielle told her. Mm-hmm. To avoid being unfair to Miriam, they have not told Natalia anything so that there could be no distractions as they get to meet this Chicago resident.
Did they think that Natalia was going to start messaging them like crazy or something?
Probably. She'd probably just implode if she heard Miriam was in their Colorado house. She finally arrives at the gate. Similarly to when Danielle laid eyes on Roberta, she goes, "She's so cute. She looks like a doll. She's so small." It's like the only adjectives she knows to describe a woman is tiny.
Natalia wasn't that tiny. Was Miriam? I didn't notice.
I mean, she was shorter than Danielle, but then again, Danielle's a tall woman.
I don't know.
Is this just how tall people think? Everyone's so small.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Miriam says that she hopes she likes them and vice versa. They hope that they'll see the real her and not just her outside. Oh, honey, Garrick is the last person who is able to see past a person's exterior.
We see a bunch of filtered glamour shots of Miriam.
Mm-hmm.
She likes to dress up.
Yeah, she likes to
wear good, attractive clothes, I guess.
Which she's gonna help Danielle with her beauty.
Yes.
We'll get to later. There's a scene in the car where Miriam is already acting very familiar with the Merrifields, at least with Danielle, where she's already trying to feel for the baby kicking.
Mm-hmm. We get the sense that they already have some kind of relationship.
They've been in contact for 3 weeks before flying her out here.
That seems too short.
Well, as Danielle likes to say, they like to move fast. Moving on, similar to Natalia, Miriam asserts that Garrick is an attractive man with beautiful blue eyes that will stare into your soul.
Yes, one into your soul and one over there. I don't know. He kind of looks like he's looking through people. He's looking at something behind them. I don't get it.
Well, I guess some women like that.
I mean, there has to be some. They're cast in a wide net.
They arrive to the house. The first person on screen to greet them is Danielle's father. Danielle once again reiterates that it's strange to have the person they're courting right with them seeing their actual house. The first thing that catches Miriam's attention is the homemade chandelier in the kitchen, which Garrick made. She's given a tour. What we learn in this segment is that Garrick has his own master room, which I think was the same room Danielle was filming in when she revealed to Samantha that she was pregnant.
Also, if you notice, her clothes are in the closet of that room.
I don't understand why Danielle didn't say this is mine and Garrick's master bedroom.
I think the reason is because it used to be, but now, because of Miriam, she's been relegated to the sister room, which is just as creepy as it sounds.
Because in the polygamy shows we've seen, it's usually the husband that goes to the bedroom of the wife, and that's her night with him. But in this case, it's the wife that's going to the husband's bedroom, which is kind of nasty.
I mean, it's all bullshit.
Okay.
They show Miriam the room that she's going to be sharing with Danielle, where they have 2 side-by-side single beds. I'm not sure what the ultimate plan is, because the room isn't big enough for as many sister wives as they intend to have, but it feels weird that Danielle is giving up her room so that she can be in this room with this other person, and then Garrick is taking it all for himself.
Yeah, their shared master bedroom is now the new boom boom room. And now she'll just have shared sleeping quarters with whichever sister wife is also not going to be with him for the night.
It's got bizarre sleepover vibes where Danielle is just so excited to sleep in this room and share it with her new sister. Like they're kids playing family.
Yes, it's bizarre. You figured that out. Garrick thinks Miriam is also beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
He is glad that they weren't catfished. In his confessional, Garrick says if Natalia would just put her jealousies aside, she and Miriam could be BFFs. However, if God did tell him that Miriam should be in the family, well, Natalia just is gonna have to face the music. Again, Danielle is sitting right next to him, smirking not so subtly.
Yeah, she has a very distinctive smile. Anyway, what I'm saying is, this runs into some conflicts here. If God says that this woman is supposed to be in the family, but she says she doesn't want to be part of the family, who's lying, the woman or God?
Obviously the woman, because God can never lie.
If the woman wasn't ever going to say yes, wouldn't God have known that?
It's a catch-22. Danielle tells the camera, "We'll cross that bridge when we get there."
Smile again.
The tour ends and Garrick is opening a bottle of sparkling water. The Merrifields are expecting company. Sam and Samantha are coming over to be introduced to Miriam and for them to interrogate her. This is the first time they are meeting one of the potential sister wives in person. Sam and Samantha enter through the front door with their 2 children in tow. In this shot, I noticed there was a sign in their kitchen, which is the Bible verse?
Yeah, it's a Bible verse. The one about love.
Love is patient, love is kind, etc., etc. The last part of the sentence is, love is not easily angered, but for some reason, the word angered had missing letters. It was like every other letter was gone.
I think it's because they didn't like the energy of the word angered, maybe, but it just seemed bizarre.
I mean, if that's the word, you might as well just display it, because that just brings more attention to the word.
We probably wouldn't have brought it up otherwise.
Miriam gifts them some pastries, baklava, to which Sam says he's tried before. You said Sam looked like discount Pedro Pascal.
A little bit, yeah. I think it's his eyebrows and his eyes a little bit. I thought that there was a passing likeness. It's funny because Sam and his wife have never met any of the potential sister wives before, and it takes them all of 2 seconds to just poke a bunch of holes in this plan.
Yeah, so they get to the small talk. Miriam tells Sam and Samantha that she's from a community which is very Middle Eastern, to the point that there are signs in both Arabic and English. Like always, Sam is confused by his brother-in-law's choices. He thinks Garrick is barreling into a courtship with no information, to the point he doesn't see the red flags. The red flags, to which I assume is the fact Miriam has no plans to be a Christian, which Garrick purports to be. Miriam claims she reached out to Danielle since she could feel the closeness of the family she and Garrick built. Similarly to Garrick, she also wanted to keep her eyes open to what God had in store for her. It was at this point in the episode to which you said this scene with Danielle just smirking in the corner as Miriam is telling her backstory. You said this reminds you of when Mary brought in Robin because she wasn't getting along with Janelle and Christine.
Yes, that's exactly what she's for, is she's supposed to be Danielle's reinforcements. Because that's the same power dynamic that we see over and over again in polygamous relationships. Everybody is trying to bring a new person in to be on their side.
It's just your usual power struggle when there are just so many people. Everyone is always jockeying for some kind of position.
Yeah, they need more votes.
Miriam then starts to say some sentiments that don't age well, at least given the information we know. She says she had some innate feeling that Danielle was different from other friends she has talked to, and that Danielle is someone who is genuine. Someone who she would have no issues of jealousies with.
No.
I'm getting very strong Jasmine and Nyla vibes from her due to this unshakable belief they have in their ability to not foresee any emotional issues that could arise from sharing the same man.
They've never lived it before, but yet they're so confident that they're not going to feel this way. It's
a red flag.
Yes.
Samantha is not buying this emotional connection between them. She explains that Garrick and Danielle have never lived polygamy. Their typical routine when courting women is to see them on vacation, typically in a foreign country, for 1 to 2 months, and then they leave that potential wife for an extended period of time. She just hopes they put the brakes on this prospective wife as well.
It's happened so often, it's getting harder and harder to believe that it's on an accident.
Samantha then asks the most telling question. Is Miriam willing to convert to Christianity and still be in her family's good graces? This confuses the Muslim woman. She responds, I have no plans on converting. Was that a requisite?
And then you see Danielle and Garrick both making Pikachu face.
Just utter bewilderment. They apparently did not bother asking her this very pertinent question. Mr. and Mrs. God and His Holy Ghost speak to me. I mean, we knew she was Muslim. I feel like they're just trying to reap the benefits of her Muslim background where she is okay with polygamy, but they didn't actually want her to stay Muslim. Samantha questions Garrick, how does he feel about having a mixed faith family then? He can't answer since he did not think of this possibility.
I didn't think this far ahead.
His exact words were, she asked me a while back, have you ever looked into it? She, I'm guessing, is Miriam, asking him if he's ever heard of Islam, and he answered, 'cause obviously I have no idea. In his interview, he promises to Google that once he gets some free time because there is something to learn from all religions.
Oh, boy. So Garrick's complete disinterest in understanding Islam is very similar to his complete disinterest in learning Portuguese or that much about either Roberta or Natalia's heritage.
Obviously, he's not interested in the women. They're just something he has to collect.
You know, it's dehumanizing.
Miriam tries to educate these four about her faith. She tries to counter stereotypes about Islam, saying they are a faith of peace. After all, the word for hello in Persian is the same as peace, which is salam. She then tries to explain that her faith also strives for that feeling of warmth and love, just like in Christianity. Ominous background music then starts to play, foreshadowing that this is a hurdle the Merrifields might not be able to overlook.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to jump over this one.
Danielle and Miriam then convene at Tapas and Wine for some much-needed clarification on the polygamist courtship.
This was an unpleasant scene.
Well, it was worrisome, one, because I'm hoping what was in their glasses were juice, because obviously Miriam should not be drinking wine, but then this might be a Salahuddin situation where they pick and choose which tenets they want to follow. And obviously, Danielle shouldn't be drinking wine.
Under any circumstances, but it definitely looks like she's getting tipsy because she is really loosening up.
Mm-hmm. The Muslim woman teaches Danielle how to say a quick blessing on the food in Arabic. She is happy about Danielle's enthusiasm to learn. Danielle suddenly throws Natalia under the bus, saying she loves this opportunity for a sister wife and her to get close. She was never able to have that sort of quality time before. Danielle diverts the topic to her pregnancy, saying she would very much like to have a maternity shoot since that was something she missed out on during her first 2 pregnancies. Miriam agrees and says it's not too late either for a baby shower. Danielle laughs it off, saying she didn't think of it since she doesn't have a lot of friends for anyone to come celebrate with her. And that's another key indicator as to why Danielle is okay with the idea of having a sister wife at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because all these women just wanting a friend.
A friend that can't go away because they live with you and they have sex with your husband.
It's a little sad.
It's very sad.
Because she says her only female friend is Samantha. Because it doesn't appear, as we'll see in the next episode, that Miriam thinks Garrick is respectable. So if it doesn't work out between those two, I still hope Danielle and Miriam are able to have a friendship.
I hope so, for Danielle's sake. She seems really sad.
On the topic of babies, Miriam does say she would like 1 or 2 more biological kids before looking into adoption/fostering, since she has a lot of motherly love to give, even to older children.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle is in awe of her words. She tries to steer the discussion into gal pal mode again, saying maybe Miriam could help her with beauty stuff as well. She compliments Miriam's reassuring nature. I got you. I like when you say that.
At this point, you can tell that Danielle is either getting drunk off of what she's drinking or she's getting drunk off of what
Miriam is saying to her.
Yes, because she's getting more and more
expressive.
She's just bigger and bigger energy, and Danielle really, really thinks that Miriam is going to be the future of Danielle. Danielle feels really broken down.
I know. Because remember the time when she almost tried to kiss Natalia on the lips? It was during the time when she gifted her the weird shaped necklace.
Uh-huh.
She might have a thing for women.
Maybe. I mean, she wouldn't say it out loud, but yeah.
They talk more about the aspects of Islam. Miriam asks if they're willing to give up pork if they were to marry her.
And Danielle thinks she's kidding.
Yeah, she's like, I love bacon way too much. And Miriam asks, what about turkey bacon? And I think Danielle said
That's so gross.
I didn't know that about Islam, that they had dietary restrictions similar to Judaism, kosher food. Because my only knowledge of dietary restrictions concerning Islam was from watching 90 Day Fiancé. In season 2, I think their names were Mohammed and Danielle again. Mm-hmm. I think her daughters were trying to prepare him a spaghetti sauce. One was vegetarian, one had meat in it, because the only meat Mohammed was allowed to eat had to be cut or blessed in a certain way. That's when we were introduced to the concept of halal. But I didn't know that they couldn't eat pork at all.
No, not at all.
So I guess this is still the learning channel.
Unintentionally.
Miriam stresses that pork is a huge factor for her in possibly marrying them. Danielle is open to the prospect of giving it up for the sake of having a close friend besides her sister-in-law.
Well, to be clear, she says she's open to the idea of considering it.
Oh, okay. So not actually giving it up.
Yes, she's willing to consider it.
Miriam is trying to do something like the Snowdens did in season 2, where she wants the people that she's married to have the same diet. Because the Snowdens tried to have Vanessa follow their alkaline diet and I think pescatarian. But why do Danielle and Garrick have to give up pork in order to be married to her? Why is that a necessity?
Don't know.
Miriam says aside from the polygamist aspect, this is new for her since she's never dated a white man before. She's dated almost every other ethnicity except Caucasian.
Yes, she then proceeds to list them in order, and I can just imagine Danielle reacting. There's one more, and then one more, and then you're like, okay, that's okay. She's going. She keeps going. Not that there's anything wrong with that, just that doesn't seem like the kind of thing that Danielle and Garrick are going to be on board for.
Why? You think Garrick might become insecure?
I mean, yeah.
Miriam goes on to say that she could tell Danielle and Garrick are quick to get attached to people, which is why they try to rush things. After all, it was Danielle who admitted to loving Miriam after only 1 month. The astute woman relays that she isn't like them. She tends to take things on the slower side for fear of being hurt. For some reason, Danielle is saddened by this ask to not rush things due to having such good chemistry with this new person. I think Danielle just wants to get rid of Natalia ASAP by having Miriam marry Garrick first.
I think it's also she thinks that Miriam is going to be the friend of her dreams.
Yeah, an expectation. Those are great for any new relationship.
Just fantastic.
Danielle goes, of course, I'm closer with Miriam. Natalia is the one who put up a wall with me. Why wouldn't I want things to be a little rushed?
Anyway, these guys.
Well, someone who definitely wants to rush things along is Justin.
Oh, he was in this episode, wasn't he? For like 5 seconds.
Any person that's not Merrifield, I feel the segments are very, what's the word, paltry?
These are paltry, but they didn't really do anything. There's a date with Yary.
As you said, Justin is meeting her once more at another Mexican restaurant. He is there to give her the bad news. Tonight is the night she has to agree to be his girlfriend, or else they are going to
put an end to the Yary experiment.
So double gentlemanly to impose that. His exact words were, quote, things are going really slow. We are looking for somebody to make a commitment right now. Didn't last episode Becky was boasting how she and Justin are the most patient and understanding people ever?
And we didn't believe it then, and we don't believe it now. And they're stupid for believing that they are.
I mean, I get it. if they want to stop doing this because Yary is only agreeing to be filmed so she could get free food. But again, as we'll see later, if Yary doesn't want to share a man, she is wasting their time.
Mm-hmm.
She arrives to the restaurant. Justin greets her with a, "Hello, Mama."
Interesting.
Is that her nickname?
Maybe.
They order a large plate of nachos as the impatient man starts up the conversation. He implies that Yary needs a vacation soon from her demanding job. Justin half jokes that they should escape to Italy. Yary responds in jest, asking him to take her with them. He fesses up saying, whilst he is planning a vacation in the winter, it isn't to Italy. It's to Florida.
Major downgrade.
She is more than welcome to come with them if she agrees to make a commitment. See what he did there?
Carrot on a stick.
Yary asks if Becky is in this arrangement. When Justin confirms that, Yary rolls her eyes so hard.
There's obviously a misunderstanding between Yary and the Ryans.
I think Yary is expecting to just be a mistress, but with permission. I don't think she realizes what the role of sister wife is, at least from their perspective.
Well, she never wanted to be one.
The Latina woman points out that they don't spend enough time together since Justin's family is his priority. He responds saying that he doesn't have free time at all, since most days he just goes to work, comes home, and immediately hits the hay. He tries to bring up Stephanie, where Becky and him made her a priority when she had surgery. Yary counters this, saying Becky is still his wife, and Yary herself will never have equal time as her. Justin says that once Yary makes a commitment to him, there will be enough time. Because time is a zero-sum game. You can't have more time without taking it from someone else. So he's trying to say that the time that would have been spent bonding with his kids or with Becky is now going to be taken up by Yary, which is now justified since Yary is now family.
I guess it's bullcrap.
Why?
Well, because Yary does not want to have a sister-wife relationship. She wants to have Justin for God knows why. And she's not going to be happy with anything less than all of Justin. That begs the question, why is she still here?
Again, because the nachos, the potential vacations.
The TV show?
Yes. She says, I want my man, my husband only for me. I don't like to share my man.
There's no way that this is going to work out.
The conversation continues. Yary turns the tables on Justin. She says he would be jealous if he saw Becky with another guy.
Oh, I'm not going to share my woman with another dude. That's gay.
Yeah, so Yary uses that reaction to evoke some empathy, saying that that's why she isn't chomping at the bit to be a sister wife.
The sexist inequality in these relationships is astounding. The idea that somehow it's more natural for women to congregate around one man, but how demeaning that would be to share a woman with more than one dude.
Because Justin has said in past episodes that he wants to follow polygamy because this is who he is. I thought, well, we know Justin has ties to the cult that Becky's father ran. So I'm thinking, is he trying to be a polygamist because he wants some sort of status in their religious community?
I always assumed that what he says when he says polygamy is who he is that he's a misogynistic jerk.
Okay. Because how could it be who you are? You never practiced it?
Maybe.
You don't really come from it?
He's just feels like he's entitled to having lots of women. As natural as that.
Well, obviously he's full of Yary stresses the point that she and Justin need to spend more time together since she doesn't know him that well outside of Becky. The impatient man says he's being pushy, as it means to not blindside Yary. He tells her that if they're going to have to keep on waiting for her answer, she shouldn't be shocked if he and Becky were to date another woman. This obviously blindsides Yary. She disagrees with his resolution, saying it's not normal to be in such a hurry. Justin says polygamy is not normal.
He also says that he and Becky don't have that many years left or something.
Really?
Yeah, they said something about not having enough time for some reason.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Maybe not years left, but they don't have all the time in the world.
Oh, yeah. I think he did say that, where they are on a tight schedule.
They don't have all the time in the world.
Just to frolic around.
It turns out Becky's also got cancer.
Oh, like what Shane said.
Yes.
He doesn't have enough time.
Mm-hmm.
Very cryptic statement.
Mm-hmm.
Then Yary tells the camera that she is an open-minded person and likes both Justin and Becky, which is a lie. She only likes Justin. The date ends and Justin does a 180 on his opening statement, saying he is definitely not in a rush for a commitment from Yary. We're just more in a rush to get a commitment from somebody. It doesn't have to be Yary.
The face of patience.
God, they are so desperate. Why do they not care who this person that is making a commitment to them is? Are they just worried that they're not going to be greenlit for season 6 if they fail to get a sister wife at the end of their whole thing?
Are you saying that Becky's hand scanner business isn't making enough money?
Obviously not. The last group to be in a huge and unnecessary hurry to find their sister wife are the Davises. They are prepping for their long-awaited sleepover with Jasmine. Nick is getting ready a bottle of champagne or Chardonnay, or I don't know. Danielle and April are arranging a charcuterie board, and Jennifer is putting together some chocolate fondue. They restate their marriage arrangements of the women being legally married to one another.
They're padding it out.
In order to not create a feeling of hierarchy.
April says there's no hierarchy, just the one underneath her.
Yeah, Miss Matriarch of the women.
Mm-hmm.
As they talk of their plans to have Danielle marry the next wife, Danielle has her eyes glued to the ground during the entire interview. She's like, I don't like this. I don't want this.
You could replace this entire segment of the Davises with just Danielle's face looking like this.
I don't know why anyone isn't picking up on this. Jasmine makes her appearance complete in sunglasses and a short blue dress. At least we found out what her actual favorite color is.
Yeah, it's not yellow-green.
They sit down to have a drink together. April assures Jasmine that her beverage is non-alcoholic. I guess Jasmine doesn't drink because she also didn't have wine in her date with Nick.
Which asks the question, why are they making a big deal of having that on camera now when they could have had that be a big deal on camera if Danielle wasn't drinking alcohol?
Wait, I'm sorry?
They made a point of showing us on camera that this is unalcoholic beverage. Mm-hmm. If Danielle with Miriam were drinking non-alcoholic beverages, they could have said that too.
Yeah, because I think they tried to point out that her drink was, Mountain Dew or something in a glass.
Or something.
But they couldn't tell us that it's okay, this is just cranberry juice.
This pregnant woman is totally not drinking alcohol.
These people be not telling everything.
Making poor life decisions.
The plans for tonight is to hop into the jacuzzi together and sleep in their huge bed. If Jasmine isn't open to that, there are other spaces she can sleep in.
Like in the Boom Boom room.
She'd be by herself.
I know, but yes, I assume that there's a bed in there. I don't know, maybe some sort of rope thing.
Yeah. I didn't really see any equipment when we saw that.
Oh, they actually showed it? Okay. I only had the thoughts in my head.
Jasmine rejects that offer, saying she is willing to sleep all together with them. This makes Nick smile. He likes the prospect of getting lots of cuddles and snuggles from 4 women. In his confessional, he does take notice of how accommodating Jasmine is trying to be to adjust to their peculiar way of doing things. Jasmine says she thinks charcuterie boards are adult Lunchables.
Which is what literally every single person on the planet says when they eat a charcuterie board.
I remember there was discount Lunchables that were still too expensive, so you said, I'll just buy a really big sausage and some crackers and slices of cheese.
For a quarter of the price, yes.
Adult Lunchables.
Yep.
Nick comments that he's glad Jasmine doesn't have any dietary restrictions. She corrects him, saying there is one animal she won't eat. Mutton. She used to work at a meat processing plant for pet food.
And then she goes into an overly long, graphic depiction of how she learned that she can't eat lamb or lamb blood, and it grosses everybody out.
Mm-hmm. During the times when it was lamb's blood that would be added to the product, more times than not, she ended up getting covered in the stuff and subsequently would develop a rash from it. As a result, she stays away from lamb entirely.
Everybody is laughing nervously.
I think that's a thing. You can be allergic to a certain protein, whether that be the antigens in it or something.
Yes, but she could have just said, I can't eat lamb.
Again, Nick is taken aback, saying he could never imagine this beautiful woman working in such gory conditions. Jennifer comments that this told her a lot about Jasmine's own personality, and that she is staunch enough to not shy away from things. They waste no time going to the next scheduled activity, the jacuzzi. They make sure to leave the cheese and crackers untouched. I think Jasmine made one Lunchable cracker sandwich, but no one ate anything.
It made me hungry.
Yeah. Jasmine repeats her motives for pursuing polygamy, that she hopes that once she settles here, she can have more help in the house, and her son will experience a more stable environment. Again, she wants free childcare. The producer asked them if there are rules concerning sex or intimate acts within their household. There aren't any.
They all nervously laugh about it as well.
Nick says, "Do as thou wilt is the whole of the law. We do it how we want to do it." Which confirmed our suspicions that the women are also doing it with each other, making this arrangement not polygamy.
Mm-hmm.
So, why are you on the show?
If people were just upfront about what they want, this show would be a lot more interesting, but everybody tries to hide everything. Everybody lies about everything. Everybody tries to distort everything, and I'm not sure why.
We're usually left to guess, and we usually guess the worst possible outcome, but at least they made that more obvious this time. Nick does set a boundary that none of that sexy time will be extended towards Jasmine, who is not in the circle yet. The four ladies jump onto the huge bed, assessing if there is still enough space for Nick in the mix. There is, which they said in the beginning of the season that they want at least 5 wives, which I don't think there's room for 6 people on that bed. They're gonna have to special order another, even bigger one. It is finally hot tub time. The ladies get into the water. We see Nick without his shirt. We now know that he doesn't just spend the whole day just thinking. He spends his day thinking whilst also working out, because he has abs that Cody Brown would be jealous of.
Yes, he does.
I think this might also be a reason the women don't want Nick to have a job outside the home.
Mm-hmm, because he won't be able to pump iron while he's watching documentaries.
He won't have enough time to maintain his physique. Anyways, after everyone's settled, Jasmine suggests some sort of conversational game as a way to get to know these people. She does it in the most ancillary way. "What's your favorite color? Mine is blue. I've never disliked it in any shape it has appeared to me
that I've met it in." It's really strange, and the other wives are acting like having a conversation in the hot tub was so not what they wanted.
They were saying that that was a red flag, that, as April would say, that Jasmine wanted to conversate in the tub, because I thought, well, what else are you supposed to do with a camera crew besides talking?
Also, was it Nick that said they just wanted some action in the tub?
Oh, you thought they wanted to...
I don't know what that means.
Have some sexy time.
Yeah. It was very uncomfortable.
So, April's the first one to take a jab at answering. She likes red. Clearly, her bathing suit is red. Also, a lot of her tops are as well. She was born in July, meaning ruby is her birthstone. Jennifer adds that it's also a color of power, and confidence, which at least for April is not untrue. Again, the head wife. Jasmine then sticks them with another abstract question. What is your favorite form of water? And I thought she wanted people to answer with the states of water, which would have been gas, liquid, solid. How are you supposed to answer that question?
She says that she means that she likes oceans.
Because they are so vast and seem to go on and on forever. Someone, I think on Reddit, said that these questions are supposed to enlighten you about certain attributes of you. The water question is supposed to reveal what your sexual nature is like. And as we'll get into later, the animal question is supposed to disclose what kind of person you are. I don't know.
I don't buy it.
The last question is, what's your favorite animal? To which Nick promptly answers with spider, since the females are always larger than the males, which is indicative of what they should be in every society. The female is the dominant and more powerful sex.
He's just sucking up.
Yeah, because I think most females in the animal kingdom are larger than their male counterparts.
Yeah.
At least that goes for most reptiles, fish, insects, and arachnids. So he had a lot to choose from. He tries to butter up the women that spiders are an adequate analogy since they are known to lure unsuspecting prey/men into their web. Jennifer tries to counter his statement, saying Nick is the one that was able to catch all of them. It was a bit incoherent. People kept on talking over one another.
Yes.
Nick then gives a big kiss on Jasmine's cheek, who looked immensely uncomfortable at the surprised gesture. I mean, she did say that she wanted Nick to go slow on their first date. I don't know if he's ignoring that or if he thinks going slow only applies to sex and not the act of kissing.
Yeah.
Which it should. At least ask. The game concludes and everyone exits the tub. Nick beckons Danielle to stay behind so he can have a word with her. He wants to know if she is putting on a face in front of her sister wives in regards to dating Jasmine.
The answer is yes, but she says no.
Because, again, she doesn't want to go against the grain.
Why is Danielle even here?
And I think she might
need a place to stay.
Yeah, she needs a house. So that is the end of the recap.
In this episode, Danielle has discovered that she can sabotage all of Garrick's relationships by just dangling another woman in front of his face.
Yary continues to waste the Rhines' time.
And Justin and Becky are desperate for any woman at this point. For the Davises, they are pursuing Jasmine, who they all seem to believe is very weird, and Danielle is screaming internally the entire time.
I like this episode a lot. I don't know how long this season is going to be. I predict it'll be 14 episodes, maybe 15 plus 1 or 2 tell-alls.
TV shows usually will announce the names of their episodes before they air, but for some reason they're not doing this.
Hopefully they don't stretch it out too much, because Tim's energy is not infinite. So that is the end of the recap. Morty's over here, and we will see you next week. Bye!